What up, though, everybody? You are now under the black top where we try to get our act together and find strength and unity in the circle of life and friendship. I am Billy.
I'm Timbo.
And I am Ray. It is nice to be here. It is nice to be with you guys. Nice to kind of, talk it up. How you guys
Yeah,
been? Timbo, how you been?
I've been okay. I've been better. Like I always say every week. I mean, some things do get better every week. But yeah, I've been doing okay. Just
All right.
I'm still working on my time management though, as an adult and all of that.
Oh man,
Because
that's a life skill that needs continuous development. It seems
whoever
like.
knows, anybody in the audience, if you have great time management skills, please holler at your boy Timbo because I need the juice. Like seriously.
I
Yeah.
feel that. What you always running late, or you just trying to figure
No,
out
I'm
like
actually
time to
very good
actually?
with time. I'm good with,
Okay,
but it's just like I'm good with being on time rather. It's just, y'all know I do a million things, so it's just
okay. Trying
juggling
to find
everything
enough
and
time to
finding
do the thing.
balance.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and to stay on top of it and to stay professional and all of that. So just pray for me, y'all.
I feel that, man. Always, always. Billy, man, how you be? I see you over there with the horizontal stripes, man. That's something I can never pull off myself, man. It made me look too wide. But hey, it look nice on you.
Thank you. You can do whatever you want. Don't let people tell you that. Okay?
There
I
I'm
we
gonna
think he
go.
do it.
told himself that. Oh,
There we go.
that's
That's
the
that.
problem,
That's that. Billy's pearls right there.
right?
Billy's.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I am well. Um, Happy to be here and having some discussion. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. It's just a good time to be. End of summer is almost around the corner. It's almost time for the kids to go back to school.
Yeah.
Um, double-edged sword this
Right.
year. Like I'm ready for them to go back, but I'm a little nervous for the kids and for the teachers and everybody. But
Uh,
it's good times, man. I can't complain. It's just nice to be on the chat with y'all and just seeing how y'all doing and getting into it
yes.
this week.
Awesome.
For sure.
Hey, for sure. So we will jump right into it. We had an interesting album. I feel Timbo, what we listening to?
Yes, it was an interesting album. It's called Smiling with No Teeth by Genesis Owasu. He's an Australian rapper. I had never, ever heard of him in life until now. So, what did everybody think? I want to hear y'all thoughts first, and then I'll just piggyback.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of them either, so that was interesting. And even trying to look up a lot about them, it was kind of short, which was good and bad, because I was able just to kind of go and just listen to the album without having a ton of background on it. But all in all, I felt like it was a pretty cool listen. Just the way that he kind of spoke about kind of depression or the black dog, as he kind of puts it. The way that he states it piqued my personal palette of interest because of just the mix of genres that he
Hmm.
used in this whole project. I thought that was cool. We had that hip hop feel, had some funk. I heard rock in there. It was even touches of like country, definitely some R&B. It was a lot of stuff, and to
Multifaceted.
use all of those genres to talk about so many different and compelling topics. I mean, he touched on racism, touched on depression, hypocrisy, profiling. I mean, it was just nice just to hear that from, I guess, because you said where was he from, Timbo?
Australian from a rapper,
Right.
but still
So
Australian.
it was interesting to hear kind of that because a lot of the music that I kind of take in is American, is Western, American music. So it's kind of cool just to kind of hear some of these same issues, some of these same problems that we kind of have just across the world. But then, like I said, just to hear it blended in the way that he did, I think it was particularly well done. I don't know if I didn't necessarily love everything on the album, but there was just a blend of genres which was really good, and there was some songs that I really liked, like the second half of the other Black Dog and Gold Chains. I thought was cool. So it was some really pieces in there that really spoke to me. But overall, I just like just the mix of genre and storytelling and just topics that he had.
All right.
What you
What
think,
about you,
Billy?
Billy?
All of that,
Hmm.
like almost verbatim. That mix of genre thing, I think, was so consistent that it wasn't consistent through every single song, but the album as a whole, even though he switched sounds and songs with different directions that I didn't anticipate, the consistency of this crashing together of different influences stayed the same. It was a thick consistency, no matter the sound selection. It just never lost its overall feel. At times, it felt like it was from the '80s.
Mm.
Sometimes it felt like it was a really primal and heavy, boomy bottom. It's a cool album. It's a
Hmm.
really cool album. First time I heard it, I didn't think I was gonna like it. The first two songs, I was like, okay, this is different, but like, I don't know if this should be. But then it kind of took off, and I was like, okay, I can
Hmm.
appreciate the album. Again, I don't know if I listened to the whole thing. Like, I don't know if it's one of my favorite albums, but it's got some really dope moments. Like you
Yeah.
said, Gold, uh, Whip Cracker. I
Yeah.
don't see with no teeth. Like the title track. There's
Hmm.
some deep in this album, man. It's grimy, it's grungy. Yeah, I like this track. The textured sounds. I like this. I like this album a lot.
Yeah, I definitely excuse me, echo a lot of y'all sentiments about it. It was a lot of sonics going on. I think what Ray was talking about was kind of basically, for me, it was nice to hear a rapper that wasn't focused on just rapping. It seemed like he paid attention to everything, like the way the music sounded, the lyrics, the way he approached them. It seemed more thought out than most rap albums I've listened to.
Hmm.
And it was just like you said, it was cool to hear him still talking about racism. That song, what was it? I Don't See Color. Now, sonically, it wasn't my favorite, but I really liked the lyrics and I really liked the story that he was portraying and the stuff that he was talking about. The songs that I really did like were "Waiting on You." That's just me. I'm always waiting by the phone. Y'all know how I am. So that is just, and the way he wrote that was awesome. Uh, "Drown," I like that. Um, and "Easy." There was one song in particular. I wish I could remember which song it was, but it was just the wordplay was. I think it was "Waiting on You," maybe, but it was just the wordplay was. I was like, that's just some awesome writing. It just
Cool.
the way he rhymed words and he moved around. That was really cool. Centerfold scared me though with the backmasking. I have to say.
Yo, you ain't the only one, bro. Like, I stopped and I was like, wait a second, let me pull up some lyrics and figure out exactly what he's saying before I just,
Right.
throw my ears and my whole being into this.
Right. And that's I don't know if it's from growing up in a religious background. I know from some people use backmasking sometimes for I was told satanic things and but so I don't know if that was what I was fighting with or it was just sonically to me it was kind of just like a little jarring. I'm just
Hmm.
not used to it. But I did like everything else about the song. It's just the backmasking part that I was kind of like, can't mess with that too much.
It's
But it
interesting.
was yeah, I had never the whole album is stuff that I haven't really ever heard before. So I appreciate him for that because I could tell he's
Hmm.
his own artist and like I said, he pays attention to everything that he does. So that was awesome. And I actually would listen to the album again and I would want to hear what he would do in the future as well.
Yeah, I
So yeah.
thought it was interesting, especially the one where you were saying the backmasking one. That one was kind of so it was a little jarring for me, but then the way that he kind of switched the tempo on the second end of the song almost made the backmasking and groove a little more to me. And
Mhm.
speaking of groove, I know you mentioned what's on the waiting on you. Man, that second little part of that extended track was so groovy and just easy feeling. Like I was really feeling like that was one of my favorite moments on there. Is just listening to just some of the way that he would just switch up the tempo and the whole kind of feel and the whole vibe, almost to the point it was like, wait, am I listening to a different song almost? I mean, it was
Right.
kind of it was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, that was the first one I listened to. I was just like, I like this, like instantly. A lot of
Hmm.
times it takes me about 15 to 20 seconds to decide if I like a song or not. That one I was like, I like it, off rip. So
Man, good stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, well, cool. I
yes.
guess we will move on. This week we are choosing between albums that we would that we're kind of looking forward to listening to. My album is going to be King's Disease 2 by Nas. You guys got albums? What we got?
Yeah.
When did
I didn't hear you.
when did that come out?
Recently, I can look it up. While we do this.
Okay. What's
So
your
my
album?
vote would be "Never Been Happier," Billie Eilish.
Okay.
August
This
6th, 21 was when that one came out.
oh wow. This is her second album, Timbo?
I don't even know because she's been doing music for a long time. I think it's her second. It's almost like with her, it's like it's the second studio album, but she's been
Yeah.
making music for a minute. So
Okay. Um my album is Not Your Muse by Celeste.
What was
okay,
that Eilish album called, Timbo?
Never Been Happier.
Okay. All right, cool. I believe Billy, this was your album last week, so you'll have first right of refusal.
Yeah, sorry, Timbo. It's not personal. The only reason why I'm taking this one is because I haven't heard the first one. I don't want to hear the second one out of, I guess, out of
A
crime.
discography.
Thank you. So, chronological order. There we go. Um, I'm taking off the Billie Eilish joint.
All right, so Timbo, that puts it at you. Are you taking away? See, I almost did it there. You gonna take away Nas King's Disease 2
I
or
am.
Celeste? Not your-
I am. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
great.
We just did rap, so we got to switch it up a little bit.
Okay, I'm with that. All right, so then our next album will be Not Your Muse by Celeste, correct?
And we got to find a way to stop letting him win. This is getting like this has been the last how many episodes now?
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, there's the time where like you was always shutting down my options. Do you remember this?
Yes, that's why I try not to do it tonight.
Yes, it's really not personal. I just want to hear the first album, her first album first, so I can compare the two. 'Cause that got a lot of praise, man. And I just haven't been in the mood to listen to that album.
Hmm.
All right.
Mm,
Not Your Muse
so,
by Celeste.
Yeah, that'll be the one.
Okay.
All right, rocking along. We are. Is this the last chapter, guys?
I don't know.
Of, I
It
believe
didn't
that it
say
is.
he was
Yeah, the
ending it.
last chapter of the Five Love Languages by
Bringing it on
Doctor
home.
It
Doctor.
didn't
Gary
sound like
Chapman.
the end.
I didn't hear you.
It didn't sound like the end. It didn't feel like a formal closing of a book. You know what I mean?
Right,
Hmm.
right. Yeah, but I don't think it's no more chapters after this. I was listening to it in a
Okay.
way that didn't really break down chapter outlines. For those listening, I know it's like, well, is it the end of the listen? Shouldn't you just know? It wasn't quite that easy. It's a little more like maybe 30, 40, like maybe 30 minutes more listening, but I believe that this is the final chapter. They kind of went into a FAQ section
Gotcha.
that I did not get into. I just kind of want to listen to the chapter. Just for those listening, I know that can sound a little weird. Like, how can you not know if you're done listening to something? But we are on chapter 13 of The Five Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. A personal
Yes,
word
sir.
was what this one was. So yeah, what did you guys think? This does seem to be I kind of got the feeling that, this may be the end here. He kind of went into, why he wrote the book and, things like that. What did you guys think?
Billy, you can go first this time.
You're gonna stop making me go first.
I'm not even
It
gonna make
was
a comment.
it was I think part of me just I didn't tune out, but I tuned out because I don't have kids. But I got the point.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Which makes sense. Um really just if somebody's touching you, they want to be touched. Like almost like love people how you want to be loved, treat people how you want to be treated, kind of thing. What I did find is that whenever this dude is doing something annoying, it is very annoying to me. I know he's just reading or like mimicking something that happened in a counseling session, but when somebody is whining and he's like talking for them and telling us a story and they're whining, like when this kid Patrick is like, "Yo, pops, I want to show you something right now," and
Hmm.
he's like, "Okay, give me a minute, I'm gonna read the paper." And then he comes back and like, yo, I need to show you this. Can you come on? I want to show you now. He's like, okay, man, give me a minute. Let me read the paper. And he comes back. I'm like, oh my gosh, I get it. I get what
Wait,
they're
which part are we on? Maybe I missed that part.
like. This is he was talking about like love languages for kids,
Oh, maybe I
and he was
didn't
talking about
listen
how
to the
kids.
full thing. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening. Do tell, Billy.
I
Do
can't.
tell.
How kids. It was just specifically using love languages to build that connection with your children, especially for when they get older, and just having those words of condemnation, how they stick with people over time. So this is the best time to give them encouragement or to pay attention to what their love language is first by seeing how they respond to you, because they may
Oh,
not know consciously what's going on, but it's just that's what they naturally do because it's what they naturally want. So this
right.
kid Patrick some quality time. He just wants his dad to come see what he did for him and wants to show him this thing. And dad just wants to read the paper right now after work. He's like, yo, I'll be in there in a minute. And I'm like, wow, that really is annoying. I get that, but it's a kid though. You know what I mean? That's your kid. It's not gonna be annoying when it's
Mhm.
my kid. It'll be annoying, but I'm gonna go in there for my kid. But at the same time, you also gotta teach him everything that happened when you want it to happen. But I
Right.
don't think that's the point. That's not the point
Right.
of like story. He's just expressing this is probably his love language because he's acting this way. And he goes through each love language and gives scenarios. And then he talks about just not having your love tank filled and then just really starting with kids going out and being, for lack of a better phrase, promiscuous, rather, and trying to find love in other places. And sometimes how those things grow with us to adulthood and affect us. Things like that, or just condemning words, like when a kid, um, you tell your kid to pick up the toys. He come back in the room, he put 7 toys in the box, but there's still 5 on the floor. And the parents like, well, I thought I told you to clean this up. And he's like, well, why don't we just tell the kid that congratulate him or say something words of affirmations about him putting the toys in the box so that the other ones will go in the box too. He used another reference before that one. I can't remember at the moment, but it
Okay.
was just about that level of encouragement to produce better behavior instead of I thought I told you to put that up, like
Right.
do that.
No, I mean, super dope actually. And as a parent, I agree with some of the stuff that you're saying. I'm mad that I kind of overlooked that part of the chapter. I'm going to go back and look. What I was getting at from what I was reading was kind of his personal word, where he was kind of basically it was more of a, well, here are the tools, right? You have to kind of try it out. In a relationship, there are a variety of perspectives that needs to be processed, and the best way to handle and process those kind of emotions and those perspectives in the most non-divisive way is to do it with the full love tank. So you really have to kind of be attentive and choose love, and
Even with
really
kids, you
kind of
gotta
trust
choose love.
your
'Cause
person.
they're gonna try.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna
And
try
Tim,
it. They're gonna try.
Timbo, I'm sorry.
But
What'd you read?
I read that.
Red,
You
which
got
one? Both.
Both of what?
Both what
we just
Billy said and what I said.
I mean, I kind of finished the whole thing. So I mean, not to give it away, but
that's not what I'm asking you. Like, what? I just want to know. Did you which one did you read? Did
I
you
read
read?
the one about the examples with Patrick and
Uh,
everything.
okay. Did you read what Ray's talking about,
I thought that was the beginning of that chapter.
dude? Maybe like the one that I watched was cut in half or split in two because I didn't get
Okay.
any of what you're talking about.
Okay, and it's interesting because I don't recall
We're
the
using
Patrick
different platforms, y'all. Sometimes we're
situation.
listening to an audiobook, sometimes we're actually reading a physical book. So that might but yeah, no, I remember both
What?
of them. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm just like,
because
yeah.
I
he
bought,
was kind of
but I watched the chapter breakdown or listened to the chapter breakdown on YouTube,
Mhm.
okay.
and that was in there. That's wild. Maybe that's why I feel
Yeah,
like it didn't end.
maybe that's why you feel like you didn't get to the end. Yeah, because
Yeah, and
they
then
was kind of
isn't
just
there
talking
more than
about
one version though? Isn't there more than one
there
version?
there
Like,
is, yeah.
so that could be a
So there
whole
could
nother
be a
thing
little
too.
little bit of that too.
That
Um,
sucks.
yeah, but he was just more or less saying that he kind of wrote it for, with the intention of having married people who have already been kind of in that honeymoon phase, who kind of already recognize that and are also looking for kind of a way to kind of get things back on track and, that kind of thing. So it was just kind of cool. He was just kind of putting just why he wrote it and basically just, hey guys, kind of try it out and, you know, here you go kind of
Which I
thing. So
mean,
that's
he
why I
had to
said it
been
felt
trying
kind
it
of
out by
clean.
this point in the book. Like I would hope you trying some of the stuff he's suggesting out. That's the
You
point of
know,
reading.
you would hope so.
No, no, no. I'm glad that when you say that, I wonder if it's for married couples in the honeymoon phase. What do you call the phase when you're dating or just getting into an exclusive relationship? Because I feel like it applies
I
to,
think that's still the
to,
honeymoon phase. I would
but
think.
like people don't always get married 2 years later. He's really talking about you get to know somebody after 2 years, or the honeymoon phase lasts 2 years, and then like everything kind of starts to plateau in a way.
Yeah, I think that
So
that's what he was saying. That it's for those people at the plateau after the happiness part, where it's like,
Right.
oh well, how come we
How we
can't
really gonna make this work?
keep with
Yes.
it? Like, and then it's like, okay, well, you got to do a little more than just wake up in the morning next to them and just be filled with that elation. You actually have to maybe try to figure out what makes them tick, that kind of thing.
sure, for sure. I'm very happy to have read this book, especially with you guys.
Oh man,
Yes.
absolutely. This first time around when we first started, not the type of book that I thought that we would have normally kind of gravitated towards, but I am happy that we all kind of took the time to break it down chapter by chapter and really kind of go through and do it together and kind of figure these things out now and have this conversation. It's dope.
Yeah. Awesome.
Then we get to do it all again with a new book.
Yes, sir.
We did
We'll be coming
we
to
made a
y'all with that
choice
soon.
on the book, right?
We have a few
Oh, I
options.
mean, we didn't all choose one. I just made my choice.
Okay. So
Okay, so
we
what
are
was your choice? And that's
This
really what
thing
it
here,
was. He did make his choice. He did.
this thing here, The
yeah,
Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by
yeah.
Deepak
Deep
Chopra.
Chopra. Yeah. I'm with that. I'm not against it. I think it's a shorter read.
Mhm.
We can break that down also, kind of same way, chapter by chapter, and see what these laws can do for
Right.
us.
Hopefully, it's not too many versions of that one, and we won't get confused.
Exactly right. Hopefully, fingers crossed
Yeah,
on that. Or I'll just go and just buy like 3 copies of the same book so we're gonna all be on the same page.
that works too. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, cool. So that'll be the book that we will start now for the people listening. Is our intention to start and have chapter one read next week or next episode?
next episode. Yep.
Okay. Because
Sorry, I got a call, and that just took me straight out trying to respond
Okay.
to it.
hey
But
man, I
I don't.
understand how it is.
But I missed what you said. What? So we're doing the seven spiritual laws of success.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Okay, for sure. Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, cool, cool. So, and moving on, our next segment. Oh my God, we're gonna have a conversation on, I believe it's entitlement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting
Yes.
topic. So yeah, I guess we should just jump right in. Entitlement. Timbo, what you
Um,
got for us?
can I say the definition? Because
Oh,
maybe we
absolutely.
definitions or not. Maybe we see it differently. Entitlement: the belief that one is inherently, or yeah, is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment.
That's so
That's
funny that you took the third definition on that list, just like I did.
because that's the one that most pertains to the aspect
What were
we're
the
talking.
first two though? Can I ask
They were
what the first two
uh,
were?
they were about a different. Yes, you can, but I don't know what they are right now. I didn't write those down. They
They were
weren't
really
per
similar,
information.
but it's just funny that he grabbed the exact same one because I did the same thing.
We
Okay, I
talking
thought
about
they had something different in them. It's fine. If they don't, then that's fine. But sometimes different definitions have bring to light different things. So
they
Let's
do, but
see.
they weren't talking about the joints.
No, they were
Yeah,
pretty. Let's see. So we got the fact of having a right to something,
hmm
hmm
or the amount to which a person has a right, or
to
the belief that one is inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment.
Yeah,
So I think
Mm-mm-mm.
for kind of
he's
the
there.
purposes of our conversation, we were kind of leaning towards the third one.
Right.
But I don't think
Yeah,
anybody outwardly said that. So it was just interesting that was
yeah.
the one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Well, when just generally coming off of the word entitlement, I just started thinking about what really came to me was like the audacity of people. That's
mm.
and I didn't think about entitlement in the idea of myself. I thought about other people, and maybe in that way, it is still a sense of entitlement because I'm like, y'all got the problem and it's not me.
Right.
But
So,
I just really just thought about because you guys know I work in customer service to a degree, not as much as I used to, but it's just I have to deal with people with attitudes and stuff all the time. And in a way, maybe they might be entitled to the attitude that they have, but it still just makes it sometimes I'm just learning for me to just take the back seat when it gets to that. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it is my job and I need to still be respectful and I don't need to get off my square because of anything. But I just thought about all of these different situations that have come up in my job where the person might have felt entitled to feeling a type of way. And so that was kind of dictating how they were acting.
Hmm.
So yeah.
I feel that, man. It is interesting, especially that form of entitlement. That wasn't one that I necessarily thought about when it comes to, especially in a kind of public service kind of thing where people just feel like, oh, this is your job. So I don't necessarily have to even come in and say it in the most polite way or even speak
Right.
with even a modicum of kindness, even, they just
It's the
are
word for
just
me. What was
rude.
it? A modicum?
Modicum,
yeah, I'm
I
writing that one
believe
down.
is
That's a
the
new one.
let's
I like
hope that was correctly
Okay.
used. But yeah, so it is just very interesting that you chose that one because that's very true. People do just have this sense of entitlement of, oh, that's your job, this is what you're supposed to do. And it kind of sucks being on the receiving end of it.
It does, yes.
uh,
Yeah. So because some of the entitlement that I guess that I kind of thought of, I was trying to think of something that a little out the box. Um so I kind of came with the entitlement of children, right?
Oh wow. Yeah.
Children are have a certain entitlement about them, and it was just kind of as I was sitting here kind of thinking on it earlier in the week, like my kid came and just, I want some candy, or one of those kind of things, just like, oh, I'm supposed to just give you candy, you don't have to ask, you don't got to clean up your table, it's just like little things
Mm.
like that where they're just kind of entitled. They just have this way that that's the
I
way it's
think it's an
supposed to go.
inherent entitlement with a kid because it's
Well,
just they
because
don't
they're
understand.
right. Well,
Well, they're
because it
right and they
is
don't
how it's
understand.
supposed to go, to a
Hmm.
point, they are supposed to, as a
You're
parent, we
supposed to
do,
take care of me. Like,
you know,
yeah, I
exactly,
am. But
So, and then it's looking at the difference, right, in between like that, helpful and attentive parenting and the line between creating a situation where a kid can't fend for themselves or isn't willing to do something for themselves or is often looking to be rescued from situations. And I think that that's a fine line there, kind of when you were speaking, Billy, about what Dr. Chapman was saying in a part of the chapter that I missed. But it kind of ties
Serena.
almost right into it, though, where you kind of have to pay attention to your kids and what they're saying and be attentive to that language. But at the same time, it's kind of raising them as individuals so they can kind of do their own thing and go out for themselves and understand that they have to kind of do for their own. And that's a completely parenting thing. Just because you want candy don't mean that you can get candy even if you did eat all the dinner. Just yeah, it's just little things you have to kind of teach. And that's things that I don't think about until I'm kind of going through it as a parent. And because, like you said, Tim, they're right to a point. Like kids, you have to take care of them, but you have to also parent them too. So I was thinking about that kind of just entitlement, the entitlement of children, and just because they always want and expect to always have, and how, especially in today's day and age, as a parent, it's a little easy to maybe lean into that, especially when you're trying to outdo people. It's a birthday party. Let me get the bouncy house, and let me get the big cake, and let me get this, and let me get all of this, and yeah, this is gonna be the greatest 1-year-old birthday party ever. And it's like, well,
Hmm.
how are we setting the standard here? If we're doing
Right.
this for one, then what's the expectation for five? And what does that expectation then lead to? So just really interesting and just kind of thinking about all of that. Billy, what did you have on entitlement? You're frozen on my screen, so I don't know if you were trying to
I've been
jump in there
frozen
or
the whole
not.
time. I've been
Yeah.
frozen. Can you hear me talking?
Yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
can
I
hear
can
you,
hear you.
but
You
you've been
just froze. I
frozen.
mean, you got a nice little smug look though. It's not one of those
Let it
weird ones.
go. Let it
Ah,
go.
okay. Okay. So it's funny how you say that, Timbo. I agree with you 100%. I'll share my thoughts on that. I'll work backwards. Because Ray, that is very interesting perspective. But now this is what I think about in our relationship with God. Like we act like the kid that's supposed to have candy all the time.
Hmm.
God is supposed to give it to you. If you have, depending on what you believe, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
like why? But also we're kind of raised by that way with some preachers, or just
Yeah.
with the simple fact of if I do good things, I'm supposed to have a good life. And that's not really the case. But
Hmm.
then you can kind of put two things together, which may be a type of truth, but there's a bigger truth operating in your life that you haven't kind of grown towards yet. So your entitlement is like kind of keeping you at this ceiling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Right.
It's good.
that's very interesting. But these people at work, like people would think they're supposed to get something for free because they spending money. No, you don't get things for free because you spend money. You get things because you pay for it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
At
That's
my
how a
job,
store works. Yeah. Or well, I
exactly.
hate to give too much away, but yeah, that's
And
it.
you can buy perfume and or cologne and various other BS, but whatever. We're not talking about that.
Screaming.
So this person comes in, it's like, yo, grab these 4 bottles of cologne. And then she's like, I show her these travelos, right? These little atomizers, because
Hmm.
we have the app. And she's like, oh, yeah.
Hmm.
And I think she was joking, but I've heard this, maybe a passive aggressive joke, but I heard this a bunch of times. She's like, well, I should get them for free. I, okay, you're spending like close to $400. But why do you think you should get this for free? Why?
Hmm.
When it costs something, it costs me something. Like it costs us something. You have to pay for this. Why do you, like? Where's the line? Do you just spend
Right.
$100 to get something for free, or you just want something for free because you really want this and you don't want to pay that extra $10 because you feel like you paid enough? You've only
Hmm.
paid for what you wanted.
Right.
Like, come on now. That's how
That
this
wasn't a
works.
part of your purchase, man. Like you did not say anything about that.
Come on. And there's the people that walk in and just want to cut in front of the line because you're dealing with somebody and they just want to like hop in your face and say, hey, you got this. Yo, one, no, I don't. Two, I'm working
Screaming.
with somebody. A little
Hmm.
disrespect to this person. And also to me thinking I'm just supposed to stop what I'm doing and come help you. No. It's a respect thing. I get you coming to an establishment and you're like, man, every place should respect me because I'm spending money. Every place should respect everybody because we're all people,
Right.
which means when you come in here, you should respect me too. And it's just the impatience, the I gotta have it now, I want it now, I need it now. And if you don't have it, I can just go down the hall. Go
Right.
down the hall
It's
anyway.
all of that in 0.5 seconds.
Hmm.
Stop, I don't know. And then when I go like to the food court and listen to the guys who I go to all the time to grab my food from, they're like, dude, I wish the customers are more like you, man, because you're just cool and chill. I just don't get it with these people. They like want to rush you, and like we can only move as fast as we can. Some of these people are getting rattled because you're getting such a mix of people, and you don't want to say the wrong thing and have a problem. And then that affects the way that they work. That affects the way that your food is cooked. That affects like the entire flow. People don't care. I just
Hmm.
want my. I'm paying for it. I don't care what spot I'm in that line. What spot I'm in the line. I don't care about none of that. Just give me my food because I'm paying. You know what I mean? That
Right.
stuff is it is so frustrating, especially to see another person dealing with things, the same things that I deal with, and they like see men not just upset but concerned because the quality of life is dropping.
Oh yeah, you'll see that in customer service.
You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
to see another person concerned with the same thing that I'm concerned about, because it's like, yo, my people work here and I love my people. I'm trying to take care of my people and at the same time take care of you. Just chill out. It's a line. You've had lines your entire life. You know how this works. Be patient. You're not more entitled to this than the person in front of you or behind you. You got
Hmm.
your place. But also, we like in this whole, even more now, it's about me and living my best life, which I am okay with. Live your best life. You're supposed to think you are the shit, right? You're supposed to. You are supposed to. But you're not the shit at the expense of somebody else.
Right.
We all the shit or can be the shit. You know what I mean? It's that. Chill out. You're
Mhm.
awesome and amazing. Just like the person behind you is phenomenal. Okay? Respect that and we can get along and move forward. But
Hmm.
it's about, and I think it's even more so about us because we're just trying to cover up some insecurities that just keep getting bigger.
Oh yeah.
Things that just didn't work out. And now we are the 20-year-olds that had dreams and like, oh, you hit 30, 32 and really find out how the world works. And you that
Hmm.
much away from your dreams. You couldn't just do what you wanted to do then. And it kind of your decisions didn't work out how you thought they should. And now you're trying to make up for that. And that's at 40 and 50. And all that's happening at one time. On top of having like this pandemic where lives are being lost. Like your life is so more valuable now, but so is the person across from you. It's not just the self-esteem. I think it's not society esteem. It's something to do with the esteem of your peers. Where we're just working on our self-esteem, maybe like with the wrong way, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like I can't say the wrong way, but not the most effective way. But you're raising your self-esteem, but not the esteem you have of your peers, of other people.
I like that
Hmm.
social esteem.
I mean, that's just people, though, right? When you kind of think about it,
Yes, yes, sir. Just people. It's just what it is. It's what it is.
yeah, because even in thinking about it, right, you were mentioning the pandemic and kind of living your best life, and it kind of made me think about just even some of the entitlements that I have, right? So, you think about this pandemic, and we are blessed to live in a country where we have access to, good medical care and free vaccines, and we have enough of them. And you talking about living your best life. I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I want to go to concerts and I want to go to, these different festivals. They just had the Ribs and Soul Festival last week. We got Arts Beats and Needs coming up. It's a lot of little things going on. And my selfish self is like, how come they only having how come everybody can't just sign up and go get this booster shot if the booster shot is what I'm supposed to do so I can go to these concerts and it'll make me safer? Why am I not entitled right now to get this free booster shot? Putting aside that there are places in the world where there aren't even enough vaccines. Not even talking about boosters. They don't even have enough vaccines to kind of take care of stuff. It's just that perspective that I'm like, well,
But
hey, look, I need my little booster so I can go to a J. Cole concert. And it's like, well, wait a second, man. Like, yeah, it will be nice, but you're not necessarily. And even if I am entitled to it, that don't make it right. That don't make that my perspective the correct perspective to have because there are people who need. There are people who are in more serious need than we are, and I'm just sitting here hoping that I can go to a concert. It's just weird. The kind of things that's easily overlooked, especially when
yeah,
it comes to entitlement and being an American, in my
right.
opinion.
Definitely.
Or are you not supposed to be hopeful for that so that you can go to a concert, even though another place doesn't have enough vaccines? Like it feels like there are two things that it's not necessarily right or wrong. They're just two things that exist because of the life that you've been afforded,
Hmm.
the way of life. You know what I mean? Just the American lifestyle. I'm not saying that you should that the other people that are less fortunate don't matter, right?
Right. But I
But
think that our American lifestyle kind of affords us a sense of entitlement that we overlook that a lot of people don't have.
Right.
The running water. A lot of the world don't even have running water. We're to a point where we don't even see the water after we flush the toilet. Like we don't know where it go. We
I'm
just turn
sure.
on a faucet and it's just nice, clean, drinkable water. It's just little stuff that we don't think about.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're here and we're in America, and that's a great thing. And I am privileged to do so, and I do like these things. But it is a privilege. There is an entitlement there that a lot of people you know can't share.
two things. Jose came back from Honduras. That dude was like, Yeah, they so grimy down there. They only get water once a day. You got to travel to go grab water
Hmm.
and they put it off. Like that's wild, isn't it? But we,
It's
like you said, we have.
crazy.
But at the same time, you live in a country that, in a way, promise you certain freedoms and accessibility. So by right, not in comparison to the less fortunate, but by you being a citizen, you are rightfully entitled to certain privileges and services
Hmm.
because of the work that the country does, and then your contribution and how we all work together, the economy of it all. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Honestly,
That,
honestly, I yes, I agree with you, but at the end of the day, it's all we just happen to be born in America. In my
that's
opinion,
right.
God just
Right.
so happened that,
True.
Ray was born in America,
Yeah,
Timbo, welcome to Detroit, and we're just here now. And being here, we're already being the poorest that we are here is still what richer than what some vast percentage of the world. It's just crazy
Yeah.
when you think about it like that. And it just happened just to be where we just happen to be born, just our speck of sand just landed in America, so to speak, which is great.
for
And it's a
sure.
privilege, but it's a privilege that a lot of people don't have. And I think that it's so easily, overlooked.
Yeah, I agree with you, 100%. Yeah, my G. Yeah.
While we're still on entitlement, this is really random, but I thought about it while you were talking, Billy. Just being in customer service. Have you ever met somebody and they got offended because you didn't know who they were?
I
That's
not
interesting.
who they get a not necessarily who they were, but like there's just an arrogance about them that they carry like status or because I have money. I have some of the weirdest thing, dude. So because we have sales,
Hmm.
we are not an aggressive sales system. And that's just not how we operate. So we
Mhm.
take turns. When somebody get a customer, we make sure somebody else get a customer. So it's a system. We take turns. This lady comes in. She's like, "Yeah, hi, how you doing? I need something." Blah, blah. Okay, cool. She goes straight to the black woman that's working. We have another woman who I think is from Bangladesh, like in that area. So she cool. She just started, and the black woman is like, "Yo," she's pointing her to the girl from Bangladesh because it's her turn to help. And then I'm trying to, she just steady talking to the black woman, and we both trying to say, okay, well, yeah, what you're looking for is over there, but she'll help you find it. That woman got offended. It's like, oh, y'all take turns, huh? Because we were trying to explain it to her so she wasn't offended. She looked up and was like, oh, y'all take turns, huh? And walked out. We don't know what that was about because in no way was it offensive to her. Nobody was being disrespectful.
Or
Nobody was
personal?
just, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
how? What was
Yeah,
going
that's
on?
interesting. I wonder what her personal preference was that day that made her, you know,
I
only
got
She
want to
some.
work
jetted.
I got
with.
some theories, but we're gonna
She
leave that for
jetted.
after the show.
There was a guy who came in, you know what I mean? I won't say like I want to say maybe like a typical hood dude, or maybe he hang around hood dudes, just got some money, but he wasn't black. He was like a different ethnicity. I can't really peg it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Right.
But
Hmm.
the way he was moving, he was asking to smell this or smell that. And it was just like sometimes people act like you're not a person. They don't want to talk to you. They talk through you or around you like you don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned to be okay with that, cool with that. But then I put a tester down. He's about to buy it, or he just bought like some fragrance, and then he take the tester off the table and then spray himself. You are not entitled to this tester. Yes, we spray it to move sales. It does
Hmm.
cost to get it, and you just bought the bottle. Open yours.
Right. And use that one.
Okay, but that's just like petty, and that's about principle because we're
Right.
gonna get another. We're gonna spray a bunch of it. We might the amount of sprays he put on his body. We're probably gonna spray that, just showing it to other people the same day. But it was just
Hmm.
the principle, my G, and just how he moved and how he looked when I was like, "Yo, you can't do that." And the dude looked at
That
me
is
like he
entitled.
killed me, bro. Like he wanted to kill me, and I'm like, "It's just respect, my G.
Right.
Why are you so offended by me telling you no? You grown. You got a pocket full of cash. You just bought the bottle.
E
No,
boy. Like nah.
you know what I mean?
That's
It
wild,
could
man.
boy, he could have been just like in a family that's got some money. You know what I mean? He could have his own.
Hmm.
I don't know. Sometimes that stuff is just a facade, man. What I'm saying is, you just bought the bottle. You don't
Yeah,
own this. This is not yours. And however much you spent on that one bottle doesn't entitle you to use this at your leisure. It's not what it's for. And that was like
Mm-hmm.
a battle I didn't choose to fight, but I felt like I had to just stand up for something. Like, yo, that's just not how that goes. And even just something that small, I guess offended him or like hurt his feelings or something like that. And he was
he should
just
do better. He should do
Yeah,
better. I don't care about his
he
feelings.
could have been a bad move. Maybe he's and like,
Entitlement.
these
Like,
not they
man.
do not like hearing no. The word no with some of these grown folks, they're like, oh my gosh, oh okay, we'll just leave. Okay, we'll just do like when we could let people in with no masks,
Mm-hmm.
just leave. We'll just go, oh whatever, blah 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 blah, funky faces, whatever. I was happy. Okay, goodbye, because it's not that hard or difficult in the
Right.
middle before people are dying. I just asked you to have on a mask. Like, what's so hard about that? Like
Right.
the attacks that people feel blows my mind.
oh yeah, because it's their
Yeah.
perspective that you're fighting against. It's not even necessarily reality half the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even know me. You mad at me. You don't even know me. I'm not mad at you. I'm respecting you the whole way.
And that's the thing. It don't take much, man. People so you know
Don't
egos are so fragile nowadays that
That's
you
what it
thank
know.
is. Yes, you go.
you. Egos are so fragile. So that's one thing that this job is definitely still teaching me. How Jay-Z said, you got to learn to let that ego live in its own space and then like kind of move around it. You just gotta learn that. Doesn't mean that you're less of a person or that it takes something from you. They may think you less of a person, but their perception is like the size of a grain of sand. Like you said, a speck of sand just happened to land on this earth in this spot. The other person's perspective, or perception, or opinion of you, especially in this moment, is just a grain of sand.
Mm-hmm.
That's the size of it. Built off of their life that could have been full of trauma and people just not treating them right. To be honest,
Mm-hmm. Like you said, you don't know what kind of day having a bad day, and
for real, bro.
just
It is what it is. I just wish that it didn't have to be that, but that's people. That
Yeah.
wishes for.
definitely.
So old boy could have just waited. I don't know why he. I mean, I know why he used the tester because he didn't want to go through his own bottle. But it's like it's not even about that. You bought it, sir. Just use what you
Mm-hmm.
bought.
Exactly. And I feel like sometimes it's a power game. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? It's just a game of some type. Just the words escaping me. Dominance type thing because I can and like, dude, you really can't do nothing. You shouldn't because it's also petty. But this is your job. I'm cool on cash. Like, what you gonna do that's gonna make you lose your job or possibly your life?
Mm-hmm.
Just saying something small. The person could be waiting on you outside. Over what?
Testing
Over
me
nothing.
outside. How about that?
That's
Over a
true.
dude, you know what I'm saying? Over spraying too much cologne, that's not yours.
You
Just
know.
because dog, that happened with another lady. The same thing. She was mad. She didn't come to the store no more. Because I can't give her the bottle. She felt like I should just give her the bottle, her to spray and walk around and never come in and buy nothing.
What? Just hand
Dog,
it to her.
bro. I mean, it's more stuff that she tried to
Man.
tack on to that. It's just difficult people.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all. But the root of
Crazy
entire
people.
some of
Just
these
saying.
engaged.
I mean, a lot of it is probably what they be like. Well, it ain't yours either. It's the company. So why you care
Right.
so much? You know that kind of stuff. And it's like, man, it's still my job. I still got stuff.
And
I
that's
got
the
to
type.
do, and it's certain policies. Like just because I don't own it, don't entitle you to own it. You know what I mean? So it's wild,
Exactly.
man.
You don't own this because you think you might want to spend some money on it.
Right?
Right.
Like
It's
it's
expensive
And that's the
volume.
thing
That's
for me
wild.
where
with
you
the
buy.
old girl that was trying to take the tester. It's like, sis, if you're not buying nothing, this is definitely not going with you. Like,
Well, she wasn't trying to take it out the store. She just wanted me to hand it to her. Like, well, let me see it. So I can. That's what people say. They said, let me see it. And I'm
right.
like,
And then
what
walk out with
you see? Like, they won't walk out with it.
it.
They just
Hold on,
straight.
wait, hold it up. You can see it, right? This is it.
Exactly.
Like,
It's on the, that bothers me so much. And they'd be like, when you don't give it to them, oh, I just want to spell on the card. Well, I'm sorry, sir. I can't get it to you because we're in COVID protocol. So they're like, oh, okay. Stop. Stop. It's almost like begging for petty stuff. I'm just like, stop, my G. But at the
Yeah.
same if a customer is cool, I mean, you want to try on your skin? Like, come on, we'll spray it on you because that's just a part of the sale tactic too. You
Right.
got to walk, see how it does on your skin.
It's just a general respect, though. You a lot more. willing to kind of do that with people who come in and hold themselves a certain way and, can actually, just treat people the way they want to be treated. It's just so uncommon nowadays.
Isn't that the
For sure.
golden rule? Isn't that one of the first things we're taught in kindergarten? And
I
people
was just
still
talking to
struggle
my
with
kid
it.
about that today actually. Like, it's important, man. Treat people with respect. Treat them the way that you would want them to treat you. Plain and
Yep.
simple.
Yep. But too much like right, whatever.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, man. If life could only be that simple, right?
Right.
finally.
All right.
Yep.
So with that on entitlement, if that's all, we can move on to these questions. I'm gonna
Yeah.
Sombrero,
assume
get
that
the
Billy
pizza.
is pulling out a big sombrero right now and ruffling in.
Yes. Y'all
This
can't
is
see it, but that's what he doing.
there we go.
Kid.
I hear some paper. There we go.
Ah,
Please be a good question. Please be a good question.
yo, why? How would your country change if everyone, regardless of age, could vote? Oh,
Ain't
yeah,
no
so
telling.
yeah, fam. Like if kids could vote, like if KJ could vote, dude, we'd probably have like marshmallow machines
Right.
around
I was
Man,
about
every
to be
school.
like Lucky Charms.
Sonic be the president
Sonic the Hedgehog.
or
Oh
Mario.
no!
It's
Wow. Well, who? What
Uh,
age can't vote? Is it just like 18 and below, or below 18?
I
I
mean,
think you can't. I think you got to be
even
eight,
if it was,
right?
I guess if the rule was if everybody could vote, I think that we would probably have a lot more understanding policies. I think that the
That's what
generations
I was.
under us are
Gotcha.
more loving and inclusive and understanding. So I think that some of those
Hey
And
man,
informed.
I
They
hear you.
actually lead some of them.
I hear you, but they canceling a lot of stuff. Like our sensitivity is also growing. Our sensitivity is growing in areas that need to grow. Like it for sure needs to grow.
it's a
But it's some
double
other
edged sword for sure.
where like, people like us would be cool, but they're like, no, we can't have that. Like we wouldn't have half the comics we had.
They
You know what
tried
I
to
mean?
cancel Eminem.
Oh, why?
Um, because
Like,
they went back and listened to the song lyric when he said he was gonna tie her up to the bed and set the house on fire. You know,
I mean, but is it because he was really gonna do that? It's a song, it's a moment. He didn't do it.
hey, look, Billy.
Like,
People were
where is
He's just
offended.
a messenger. He's just a messenger.
okay?
People,
Well,
people were
that's
offended.
interesting. But people have always been offended by hip hop, but still there's been like a line to where even though you aren't offended, even if you're offended, you just don't go over there. Especially if you're not gonna get to know the people and understand the culture or the art of imagery and words or wordsmithing in general, all of the things, not just making
Mm,
rhymes and rhymes, but everything, especially the metaphors for embodying emotion that you feel as a human being. So I understand you have the right to be offended by something, but does that right to be, where's the line for that right to being offended leading to the right of trying to cancel somebody?
Ain't no line. You cancel. That's just how it is.
yeah, exactly. That's how it seemed anyway.
But then there's a lot of places where we're offended and we're like, yeah, that need to be canceled. You know?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
But
feel
I
like
did like what you said about basically everybody trying to get into everything, but they not really trying to understand everything. It's
Hmm.
just you
yeah,
see it on the surface level and you like, oh, let's ask that. But I mean, sometimes a deeper look can help you understand something. And
that's the wild lyric though.
yeah, it's crazy. That is
Nah,
wild.
yeah, it is.
And
I
And
he
then
got
mean,
plenty
people
of crazy lyrics, child.
I just say it's probably one of the more tame ones if you really
Right.
think about it.
and then people are going back to get this stuff.
Oh, it's
Like
a
he's
wrap
still
on that.
assuming that he's still that same person. I was watching an interview with Tyler the Creator. He was like, "Yo, they pulled something from 9 years ago," and it's like, well, "What's your end goal?" That's his
It's
thing. And like, if you're talking about I should be a better person, what about the 9 years that have transpired since that's
uh
happened?
no room for growth.
Canceled. Hashtag canceled.
It's sad.
And for what reason? Just because you can? And now you
I
canceling
think
it
it's a
now.
lot of that too. Yep. Entitlement. Yeah.
Dude, and that's just being a bully at that point. You're just doing it because you got some power now. It's like we all playing that game of power. I think we all want some power somewhere. I think it's just in us, man. And then when you can find some, I don't think everybody that's doing this. I think some people are actually offended by something they have
Hmm.
good reason in their heart. They will say, you know what, this shouldn't exist because this, and this, and this is how it could change or influence another group of kids or people in the wrong manner. There are some people who can handle some things and some people who can't, which is why you also have parental advisory and control and whatever. But that's already assuming that argument. But they said the same thing about Grand Theft Auto. I played Grand Theft Auto. I'm okay, but there might be somebody who played Grand Theft Auto and they're like, they might not be okay. And I saw
Hmm.
a game where it's this one guy, the character, the main character, is one guy in an all black trench coat, and he's just running through a town for no reason, running in people's houses, killing them, running to the grocery store. Like it's real life going out, or it's to mimic real life, just going out and massacring people. And that's
Hmm.
it.
That shit's
For
wild, man.
you know what I mean? It's like, wow. So yeah, we gotta have people to say, no, maybe we shouldn't have that. But who am I to say that?
I mean, I guess who are we to say that the younger generation would do that, right? I mean, I guess if the question is, what was the question? What would the
Uh,
voting, or what
how
would?
would your world change if how would your country change if everybody in your country or any age can vote? Yeah, we kind of got off on the tangent, right?
Well, no, I mean, I understand where how we got there. I was trying to tie it back. See, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just drinks everywhere. We should be able to have cake and ice cream at every lunch, right?
See, I think that that's thinking that right kids would like run
that's
stuff. Is it? Is I guess there's
that's
more
why.
kids. Yeah.
Who
I
else
guess that's the
can't vote?
voting population that we don't have, right? I mean, we don't take into
Exactly.
account any of the kids. So, like our
You should
national
be.
pastime will go from baseball to Fortnite.
Yes, it would. Yeah.
Little stuff
For
like that.
sure.
Like,
For sure. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's wild. I mean, I wonder what you would then put on the ballot. Like if the kids can vote and they don't have to have their parents behind them changing the vote, you might have some politicians that's like, hey, if you let us pass this, we'll give you cake and ice cream for whatever. But we also gonna cut funding over here. And the kids like, I don't care about the funding. Give me cake and
Right.
ice cream.
depending on how many kids you got, all you do is just do them like the regular politicians and run on policies that you have no intentions on fulfilling. If
Yeah.
elected, I will strike away all homework. It is pointless bureaucracy and free ice cream for all. And and then when you get elected, you just tell the kids like, "Hey, look, I'm just trying to work both sides of the party, and the parents want vegetables, and
You know what I thought
I'm just
about?
doing the best we
Esco
can."
ice cream. All of a sudden, it's Esco ice cream. We're not even doing it.
Right? Like maybe popsicles, right? You see, that's how they do, right?
Not even that. They say, "Oh, you ain't getting nothing."
You go from like Talenti to like a fudge pop. I'm like, wait a second, man, this is not what I voted for, man.
Right.
You said you was gonna fix the damn roads, not raise the gas tax. Like it's the opposite,
Mhm.
That'd be
So it's
crazy.
safe to say some things will be better and some things will probably be worse.
probably.
Yeah.
Minimum wage would be at an all-time high though, wouldn't it? Like I
Okay.
can see that.
It
Like,
needs to be. Don't get me started on that.
It's already that way now. Because when I go to Target, I'm in Target for like 2 hours just trying to check out because
Right.
nobody. Same thing with
honestly,
Myers
that's
and
the
Kroger.
one of the good things about one of the good things about the pandemic is that restaurant wages have increased for the average worker by
They
I can't
had
remember what the
to.
percentage was, but it
They
was
had.
substantial in my opinion.
Restaurant or fast food? Because I know there's a lot of restaurants and excuse me didn't make it in general.
I think it was
Mhm.
fast food and the one I was talking about, but then there was a franchisor or a franchisee that was kind of saying that is hard for them because now they're offering these sign-on bonuses for like these fast food places, you know. So it's like, okay, come work at Wendy's for 90 days and I'll pay you, for example, $15 an hour and then give you a $1,000 bonus after you've been here for 90 days. He's saying
Yeah.
that it's difficult to do that and make a profit, but still get the same type of work that you were getting for, that $8 an hour or something like that. And I'm wondering on where is that gonna go on the back end, right? So is that gonna make my, my chicken sandwich not gonna be $3?
I'm
And
over it.
I don't
You
know,
know, you know it, my G. Not gonna be
know.
$3, and it's not gonna look. It's gonna look sloppier. And what does he mean? Not the same work you was getting for $8. What work would you get for $8? Because I wasn't
I
that
mean, well,
happy.
whatever the minimum wage is. I don't know what minimum.
That's bull
I'm
crap.
not sure
That's
what the
just
current minimum
managerial
wage is.
talk. Cause it's like, what? Who?
Like you said, a franchisee, you like you have a different money setup, right?
Yeah.
Mm. I
I,
mean, I
I
guess you
don't
just
think
own
so.
the store as opposed to you actually own the store as opposed to what big McDonald's corporation owning the store, right? In that sense.
So you
But
got a
I'm
different.
woefully ignorant upon management in that capacity.
That's wild. Imagine like having to do that at Radio Shack. Everybody's dipped, and now you got to pay everybody $18 just to get them back, and then like, oh, and still aren't
And
doing the
still,
best.
I mean, it's got to be rough as a manager. I know that you ain't want to come to work for $10, so now I'm gonna give you 15, and you gonna come in here and work harder.
No,
It's not gonna
the
happen.
change, bro.
I mean, maybe some people might because for some people, that's what it is, and I do feel
For
that people should be able to go to work and actually make a living. Like it's difficult to go to work hard, and still not be able to support or not be able to afford food or just I agree that something needs to happen, but I don't
yeah.
know if $15 to work at McDonald's is necessarily the answer either. But maybe it is. But then if you pay McDonald's people that $15 an hour, what about that other job that was $15 an hour? Like so it's just like the scale, how does that move and how does it affect things on the long term? And what does that do to the prices of everything, really? I don't know,
Inflation,
you know?
dude. If wages are the last thing to go up in general,
Hmm.
you everything you have to buy with your wages has already been up, already been raised. So it's going to equate to the same thing, and you got to deal with the same people. You have to do. You're dealing with all the different types of McDonald's customers for $15 an hour now, but your gas and your milk just went up 60 cents, a
Hmm.
dollar.
It's crazy. It's gonna shake the system.
And then the McDonald's menu prices go up. And when as far as they've gone up compared to how much your wage has gone up, it's still not going to be right for you.
Right. And that's a sad thing, it's always at this point of trying to play catch up.
Yeah, my G. Yeah. Okay.
And maybe if we had the younger people to vote it in, maybe we could figure out a way to fix that with a
I bet you
different
they wouldn't play
different
that.
mindset. You
For
said what?
sure.
I said, I bet you they wouldn't play that. Minimum wage would be up there
Yeah.
and probably more realistic than it is.
I'll be scared like stuff on the back end would drop off that they'll be like, oh well, we don't need Social Security, right? If you got a bunch of 10-year-olds voting, like
I'm
who
over
thinking
it.
about like, oh
We're
yeah,
gonna live
retire.
forever.
We'll just move
Yeah.
retirement to like the age of 80. We worry about it later.
That's true. That would be an issue.
Little stuff you just
uh,
don't think about.
yeah, that's true. For sure.
Yeah.
Uh, any last comments on the subject?
Uh, no, I think that's everything.
Okay, folks. Please, if you have any new questions or topics you'd like to hear us talk about, please share those along as your answer to this question. If you have any, Timbo, where can they find us and share that information?
Yes. Blacktopasylum@gmail.com.
Awesome. And Ray, where can they listen to us and watch us?
And you can watch us on YouTube. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to us on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Just check us out, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, we do. If you like the show, let us know. Like Ray said, like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, the Blacktop is not closed. You probably can't see me do my peace sign, can you?
Nope.
I do too for him.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
See you guys
Peaceful.
later.
Yeah.